Hello, welcome to the Change Guru. This is a place where we get our change on, and today we are going to talk about that word, the change. I'm going to talk a little bit today about perimenopause and menopause, and I feel like this topic is so important for us to have a conversation about it, to lift the lid about it, because I think a lot of us are suffering unnecessarily with certain symptoms. We're putting up with some stuff because we think, oh, I'm going through the change, I'm going through perimenopause, menopause, it's just something that I have to put up with. In reality, these are things that we can actually start learning how to take care of ourselves better and actually start balancing our hormones. I think the biggest challenge for us that are this generation right now going through this stage of life is that still very little is known, generally speaking, about how to really help women feel great right now. In my personal experience, it's challenging to find doctors that really can help us. It's hard to get the supplements or the help that we need, whether to be able to buy certain things that easily make informed decisions. It's just all so over the shop. I think that as time goes on, that's going to get better. But right now, it almost feels like we are guinea pigs when it comes to this stage of life. But fortunately, there's so much information out there, and there's such an abundance of stuff that we can do to feel good that we're also in a good position. So the reason why I wanted to do this particular video is because I get a lot of emails for women who aren't sure whether the symptoms that they have are just stuff that they have to tolerate or there's something more that they should be doing with them. And two of the top concerns that I keep getting over and over again are the symptoms of anxiety and the symptoms of hair loss and hair thinning. Now, granted, both of these are possible symptoms of perimenopause, menopause. There's no doubt about it. Hormones can impact both of these things, but at the same time, they can also be related to other health areas or whether it is physical health or mental health. There's just so many aspects of both of these two specific symptoms that I don't think it is a good idea to just chalk them up to perimenopause and not do anything about them. The thing with anxiety, how I actually even got into this whole thing of helping women over 40 is when I was 47 years old, I started having these really anxious kind of feelings, and I could not work out what they were because I was doing my yoga and I was taking care of myself. And that led me to meeting with doctors and figuring it out that I was actually in perimenopause, and that was one of the symptoms. But at the same time, what I needed to do, more than just know that was a symptom, was I needed to clean up my act in my life. I had a very stressful job. I was completely stretched trying to raise 3 teenage kids. I was just and trying to be a good wife and trying to be superwoman, and I really had to change my life drastically to improve my health. Fortunately, that led me down a great path of doing this right now. But if you understand what I'm saying, is that anxiety was kind of the message coming up, courtesy of hormonal changes of perimenopause, but it wasn't the full answer. I needed to make lifestyle changes. Same thing I'm thinking also with hair thinning and loss. While that can be a symptom of perimenopause and menopause, it can also have something to do with your thyroid. It can have something to do with, a long-term type of hormonal situation. And I think the only way to get to the bottom of both anxiety and hair loss or hair thinning is to go to a doctor who specializes in women's health. It doesn't mean you need a specialist, but it does mean you need someone who is up to date with everything and can help you work out what are your hormones doing, what's your thyroid doing, what are all your levels doing. They'll be able to help you to determine what would be the best test to take for you. You have to take certain tests at certain times, fasting. It's all kinds of different tests to take. So that is my first stop, because I think what the way to make a decision is of whether you need to get treatment or not is to just consider that there's a line, right, with perimenopause. And on one side of the line, it's where the symptoms come up and they're not debilitating, they're not doing your head in, they're not, they're handleable. They're really no big deal and you can function fine. But then there's going over the line is where they become a disruption to your self-esteem, to your social life, to your productivity. When it crosses over that way, there's absolutely no reason to suffer. And I think what we often do, because we don't want to go to a doctor, and I completely understand that, but we try to, self-medicate. We either try to do things to quell the anxiety, have a glass of wine, or go for a run, or just try to do something but it won't go away, or we try to get this latest hair product or this latest vitamin or this latest miracle cure to deal with our hair, when really what we need to do is forget the band-aid measures, the topical things. We need to go inside and internal. And it first starts by finding someone, just digging for a good relationship with someone who's really good at this kind of stuff, and just seeing where all your key hormones are at. That's a first step. And the second thing that I want to say is that this kind of stuff, it's not silver bullet stuff. It's not overnight, everything's going to work stuff. It's kind of a matter of deciding that you're going to go down a path to really balance your health, to really look after your health. It's kind of like a choice, just like there was that line where it's not, the symptoms are no problem, to going over to where they're getting disruptive. Again, it's this choice of, am I going to go stay with what I'm doing and it's not working, or am I going to go down a new path of health, to really figure out how to do my life better in all areas, emotional, physical, mental, spiritual, to feel as good as I possibly can. I think that's the key. So just remember that line, where it's kind of handleable and everything's completely fine, to where it gets to being a disruption to your life, not only the physical, but just self-esteem, all that kind of stuff. When it crosses the line, time to get some help. All right, now I've got a question for you. What are you doing in your life for your menopause journey that has worked for you so well? I would love you to post it below, and also to tell us, how long did it take for you to feel the effects? I know for me, everything that I've been doing, really, it's like constant. I have to constantly do things. Some things seem to help right away, but really for the long term, got to just be really diligent. So please post below and tell us what's really working for you. Now, if you are not on my newsletter, come and join my newsletter, honey. I really want you to be on there. I love the women on my inner circle. There's tips and insider information and just stuff I only share on my newsletter, so I'd love you to be a part of it. All right, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to talking with you next time. Bye for now. Hey, my book, Gray Hair Adventure, Things I Learned About Life When I Stopped Doing My Hair, is available on Amazon. Just put Gray Hair Adventure into your country's Amazon search bar and enjoy.